Well, hello and welcome to Community Connections. I'm Mike Kovack, your Medina County Auditor, and today we have the pleasure of coming out to Buckin, Ohio. Out in Burbank, Ohio. We still are in Medina County. If you've never been here, it's out at the outlet malls in Lodi, just across Route 76 there on Garmin Road. So I myself have never yet been to one of the professional bull ridings that go on here today, but we are going to join into the Medina Chamber of Commerce's Business After Business and meet the Thorsell family and see some of the farm out here. So thanks for tuning in. We're here now with the owners of Buckin, Ohio, Denny and Eileen Thorsell. Thank you very much for having the Medina Chamber out tonight. It's a beautiful evening for it. So
It was our pleasure.
Yes.
yeah, and you've got a beautiful new barn here, I guess that you've done a lot of work on.
Yes, actually, it was built in the 1880s.
1870.
Oh, 1870. And yes, we just had the inside renovated, and we're opening it up for parties, weddings. But to have the chamber come out, we felt so honored to be able to have them come out. And just to meet other business owners from our community, it means a lot to us. So we're grateful we have such a great turnout tonight.
It is a great turnout. It's a wonderful building, and if people want to come out and maybe use that before they come to the bull riding, that's something that they might be able to do. Not yet, maybe?
No, we do some pre-parties now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about Buckin, Ohio. Here we are. We're in Burbank,
Yes.
which is part of Medina County. We're just off the Lodi Outlet Center across 76 here. And again, bull riding. Do you occasionally do a rodeo here or no?
We only do bull riding.
Okay. All right. And tell us a little bit about what happens. You got a couple more to go in the season here, right?
Right, we do. Buckin, Ohio is kind of a unique facility because we are one of the few places in the United States that have bull ridings on the same ranch where the bulls are raised. So one of the neat things here that people tell us, they love sitting in the stands and looking out in the pastures and seeing the cows and calves and the young bulls and all that stuff. So we actually are a working ranch because we do raise bucking bulls that we sell all over the United States. So this was really an idea conceived by Eileen, and she really,
great idea.
Thank you. Yeah.
she really has been the catalyst for whatever success we've had. It's because of her vision and her dedication to make it happen.
I think our heart really, we love the West. We love our livestock. We love Ohio, though. We're both Ohioans, born and raised. And so we kind of have brought the West to the Midwest now.
Right.
And Buckin, Ohio, it started out because my son was a bull rider years ago. That's what kind of started us out, and even in the bull industry itself. And then we would have people come here just to watch us when we were bucking young bulls, and we'd have 100 people show up without any advertising.
Imagine, yes.
So we thought, well, hey, we should try this, and let's see if we advertise a little, we market it a little, bring it to the community. And what's happened is it's so exciting because now, I mean, our events, we get about 3,500 people that come to Buckin, Ohio. And families are important to us, and family values are important to us, and it's been a way to share kind of our family values with a wider community. But to see children and teenagers and little ones all come together with their folks.
Some little ones running around
Yes,
out here
yeah,
today.
we plan on, we're taking them on a hayride in just a little bit.
Absolutely. Now you talk about the family values and such. Now your whole family's involved with this. You said
Yes.
your son kind of started it off, bull riding, but that beautiful music we hear in the background, I believe she may be related also.
Yes.
That's our daughter, Karis.
Yes.
She's
ahead.
a recording star, country western, and writes all her own material. Just put together a band, and she's really starting to take off.
Yeah, she has 3 CDs out, so she's, and she's actually a very talented young lady.
I can tell that
So-
just from tonight. Now I gotta ask. I was talking to Denny earlier. Grew up in Cleveland, right? If I'm not.
Yeah.
33rd and Denison.
Eileen, where did you grow up at?
West 44th Street in Cleveland. Yes, we're both city
Well,
people.
and the city of Cleveland is known for the bull riding, bull breeding
Oh,
people.
yeah.
How
Oh,
did
yeah.
somewhere in time your life took a turn, or
Right.
what? How did you get towards this? How did your son get involved with bull riding? What's
Well, as a youngster myself, I used to go down to the Cleveland Zoo, and my first job was leading ponies on the pony track there at 25 cents an hour.
right?
But that got me interested in animals and horses, ponies. And so when I was 15, I wrote a letter to a man that was my hero, a cowboy in Texas. And as fate had it, he hired me. And I left home at 15 and went to Texas and made my living as a horse trainer, cowboy for many, many years.
And then for me, when I was 10 years old, my great uncle took me to Montana, and his brother had a ranch in Montana. And I spent 3 months of a summer in Montana and fell in love with the West. And in my heart, I said, someday I'm going to own a ranch and marry a cowboy. That's what I'm going to do. And then life came home and went back to school and whatever. And when I was in my 20s, I met a cowboy. And anyway, so I think God has plans for your life,
I would guess so. Who would have
So-
thought for 2 kids from Cleveland?
Right.
Could it be?
Right.
Now
So-
you got the Buckin, Ohio, and again you've got 2 more dates. I think one in
Well-
August, one in September.
We are
talk
doing,
about
and
the
we're very
fair.
proud to be able to say that we were chosen by the Medina Fair to put our event on there. This is our 3rd year,
right.
and in fact, they like us so much, they didn't hire a band this year.
That's right.
We're,
Yes.
we're the feature of that night,
right.
and so we're very proud of that.
And is that Wednesday night of the fair? What
It's
night is
Thursday.
it? Thursday night.
Thursday
of the
night.
fair.
Thursday
Okay.
the
Yeah.
4th.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have another event here on the 20th, and then we have one in September.
I don't remember.
It's
I
up
don't
there on
know.
the poster, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I
It's so
can't
far
see it
away.
either.
But it's on your
19th?
website,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
it's on our website. And then we're also we put on a PBR, Professional Bull Riding, in Columbus during the Quarter Horse Congress.
Oh, okay.
That's
So-
October 10th.
Yes.
And you mentioned it too, but you got the professional bull riding here, but you're breeding bulls also.
Yes,
and I was
we
talking
are.
to some today. You talked about those going all over the country. You've got some across the sea also, or no? Is
Well,
that
not across
no.
the sea,
Okay.
but we do have them on. There's about 8 hours of PBR TV every week on CBS Sports, and we have had bulls that have been on tour that have been to those bull ridings. And my son might talk a little bit about that tonight because he's leaving tomorrow to go to a couple events with some of our bulls.
He's leaving for Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we certainly appreciate you having the Medina Chamber out
Thank you.
again. Denny and Eileen Thorsell
Thank you.
out at Buckin, Ohio.
Thank you.
I'm fortunate to be here with you tonight with Dan Hostetler, the director of the Medina County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thanks for taking a minute out of the food and the music over there.
I don't need the food.
You would be both. How long have you been director at the Convention and Visitors Bureau now?
April 1st, I started 25 years.
Oh, you outlasted me over at the. We talked about that a little
Yes.
bit before, but tell me some of the changes you've seen over the past 25 years, because that's been quite a time of change for Medina
There have been
County.
a lot of changes. I think probably one of the biggest is seeing all of the communities start to work together. And they're all promoting each other, and they're going after visitors, and they're making it easier for visitors.
Right, and being very successful at it. I think
They are.
I think leadership Medina County probably plays into that. You probably play into that too, as you get these countywide organizations that finally bring Brunswick and Wadsworth to Medina.
Yeah, to Medina.
Yeah. And Wadsworth and Brunswick are part of the county. Sometimes some folks forget that. But you've got an office right there on the square in Medina, and of course the square is doing wonderful things
It is
there.
very busy. They have lots of events, and if you've been up in the last few weeks, everybody's up there for Pokemon Go.
That is
Everybody's
an amazing
walking
thing.
around with their little phones in front of them.
That's right. Yeah, so, and you get both ends of the spectrum on that. But honestly, I've been past that square 11:30 at night, 6 in the morning. There are people out
People
there,
up
and
there.
they're interacting too.
Yes.
I mean, some people are doing stupid things with Pokemon, but some people are going to do stupid things anyhow.
True.
But there's a sense of community. Those people are out there sitting down, chat with each other. I kind of enjoy seeing it. So
It's fun, and it's serving the purpose that they wanted. It's getting kids off the couch and
That's right,
out
yeah.
wandering around
That's
and
right.
seeing life.
we were complaining about that before. Now we got to. It may be a function of our age that we just
That could be.
constantly complain. So, what are some of the other things going on in the county that you see that people maybe should be aware of and maybe aren't?
Well, obviously, coming this fall, we have all kinds of fall events that are always going on at all the different farms, farm markets, and events like that. We also have obviously walking into holidays with Castle Noel,
Yes.
and Castle Noel has done wonders. It's
We just
drawing
had Christmas in July.
We just did. That's right. They have. They're drawing a lot of motor coach groups in.
Right. Yeah,
So-
I have seen that the buses come through town.
The buses are
yeah.
coming through, and those people spend money, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
And can you speak a little bit? We've seen a kind of a rising of wineries in Medina County and close by. Tell me a little bit about that. and then
Wineries are just big right now. I mean, everywhere you go, wineries, and the nice thing about wineries is people spend money,
Yes,
and
they
so
do.
they're spending money in Medina County, whether they're from Medina County or not. But
Right.
a lot of those visitors will come in and go specifically to wineries.
Absolutely.
And if they're staying the night, they're using hotel rooms, they're buying other meals, they're buying gas. So,
Yeah.
and wineries are fun.
And we have wineries now. We have at least one in Liverpool, the longest lasting one.
Yes.
Gilbert's up
Gilbert.
there.
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Oh, is that how we are?
Gilbert Winery, Dave
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know that. So, but out on Route 18, there's High-Low, and there's the one down in Wadsworth by the airport there, Philia
Yeah,
Cellars, I believe.
Yes,
So,
and they're actually a California,
yes, they've
but
got
their
a very
family is-
interesting story.
but
yes.
their family's from this area, so
Right.
that's why they came
Yeah,
back.
so I've been wondering when you're going to set up that wine tour within Medina County, because there's one just on the outskirts of.
Well,
on
actually,
Wall Road.
we've joined with 9 other counties and have a wine, chocolate, and cheese tour.
Oh, when is that? Is that going on right now?
And all the locations we have a map and you can follow them
wow.
around.
Okay.
So
And so you have that information currently available at the Medina County
Yes, we
Convention.
do.
And what's the website for your?
www.visitmedinacounty.com.
Lots of things going on. So if you haven't checked out that website, and you guys put out, is it a monthly? You put out a monthly or quarterly?
On the website, it's a monthly newsletter.
Okay.
And events.
Okay. Yeah. So if you haven't checked that out yet, lots of things going on in Medina County. It's a big county. Check it out soon. Hello, I'm Medina County Auditor Mike Kovack, here to let you know that Medina County is conducting the state-mandated property value update this year. Beginning in mid-August, property owners will begin receiving notices advising them of the changes to their property values. Overall, Medina County residential values are going up almost 9%. Commercial properties increased 5% in value. If you have questions or concerns regarding changes in your property value, you may contact us directly via our website at www.medinacountyauditor.org. You may also attend one of the 10 informal hearings that will be held across Medina County. We will be visiting the Chatham Community Center, the Brunswick and Wadsworth Libraries, as well as holding hearings at the Medina County Administration Building. Check your notice or our website for specific dates and times. I'm Medina County Auditor Mike Kovack. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. All right, I'm here now with Jim Conrad of Conrad Dowdell Productions, right?
That's correct.
Woohoo, I got it.
There you go.
And a longtime resident of Medina County and married to a native, right?
That's correct.
We just had that conversation. Yeah.
She was born and raised here, and I moved in '74, so
Okay,
I'm a
that's
semi-native.
That's right, relative newcomer in,
Right.
in some terms. So, but you run an awful lot of productions out at the fairgrounds there, and so
That is correct. We have the fairgrounds the community center on the fairgrounds about half the time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We do 12 flea markets, 4 tour and train shows, and 9 gun shows.
Okay, so that's a pretty busy schedule there.
Yeah, it is.
And it's are they on regular dates when you're out there, or the first of
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
Sunday
they are,
or
but
Saturday?
we're heavier through the winter.
Okay, makes
The
sense.
flea market is once a month, but the others are through the winter mostly.
Okay, and how did you get involved with that? How did you get involved with the
It was
Conrad Dowdell Productions?
We were doing it for a club as a fundraiser, and the club said it was too much work, and we were doing it in Lorain County at that time.
Right,
And my former partner and I said, if it's too much work, do you mind if we do it on our own?
right.
And at that time, I was a tool and die maker,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a thing where I either need to put more time as a tool and die maker or more time in my business.
Right.
So I went full time with the business, and it's been a good move for me. It's worked well.
You made the right call there, right?
And Medina County is the right place to make it in, I can tell you.
Yeah, I've been out there numerous times. You get pretty good crowds
Yeah.
out there. And are there better times of the year? I guess the winter
Sure,
works
the winter
out.
time, simply
Yeah.
because they're outdoors people, and if
Yeah.
the weather's nice, they're outdoors.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been a cheerleader for Medina County, been involved with the Chamber and the Visitor Convention Bureau, served on the board a couple times for both of them, because Medina's a great place. It really is.
Yes, it is. Now, for the flea markets, people can set up for that too? How do they go about
Yeah,
that, or how is that?
It's got a reputation for being collectibles.
Okay.
The socks and the sunglasses don't sell, but the antiques and the glassware and the collectibles do. That's what it's known for.
Okay. And the toy and train, that's kind of a specialized group that comes out there too, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's not directed towards children. It's directed towards people with disposable income. You see a lot of grandparents bringing their grandchildren.
Right.
But the toys can be modern or antique. The trains the same way, along with train paraphernalia from full-size trains.
Right.
So it's an interesting mix,
Yeah.
and it's been good for us.
Yeah. Now, you said those are the events you run in Medina County. Where else do you
We have had them
participate?
all over Ohio and into West Virginia, but right at the moment, my wife and I have slowed down a bit, and it's only in Medina.
That's much easier to get to, right?
Yes, it is. Cuts down the hotel stays, that's for sure.
That's true. Yeah, that's when it starts to get
Yep.
expensive. So, well, we appreciate all you've done for the county over the years there, Jim.
Thank you, Mike.
So, and good to see you out here at Buckin, Ohio. Fun place to be.
Great place here in Medina County.
Yes, indeed.
Be
There
well.
he is. All right.
Typically, during the bull rides, there's about 3,500 to 4,000 people here on the property. So we get a pretty good draw. Come early if you decide to come. The property here itself is about 100 acres, but they have access to another 100 acres. So it's a pretty big property. On the property, there's about 100 cows and 70 bulls and about 20 babies right now. Right now, the babies are all about 6 months old and younger. Most of the babies are born between February and May. Most of them are girls, but there are some boys. All of the babies are entered into the breeding program. And they're born and they're trained here on the ranch. And then the ones that don't buck are the ones that are sold off in auction. So the training program for the bulls begins at about 1 year old. When they're about 1 year, they take the babies and they wean them from their moms, and then they use what's called a dummy on the bulls. And they put a box on their back and they're trained to buck for 8 seconds. Either the bulls buck or they don't. If they don't buck, then they're either sold off to another breeding program or they're utilized for food. Depends on whether but they're bred to buck. They're not forced to buck, they're bred to buck. All of the cows on this property are Brahma mixes. So they all have horns, whether they're girl cows or boy cows. So you can't tell if it's a bull just based on the fact that it has horns. So the pasture that we're gonna go in has all of the babies, and all of the babies in this pasture are all under 6 months old. And at some point they'll be weaned, and then they'll make a decision whether they get to stay and be part of the Creek Bend breeding program, or they'll be sold off on auction to go into other breeding programs. They will trample you, they'll hook you. If you notice, their horns are very long and very sharp. But they're protecting their young.
That's their weapon.
But they will hook you. Yeah.
They'll stay in the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they won't hurt us up here.
So when you ask who wants to get off, it's a trick question, right?
Yes, if
So we're
somebody
gonna play truth or dare now. See who's brave enough to get off.
if somebody asks you to get off, just say no. Here on the property, we do some artificial insemination, but mostly we do live cover. So they bring bulls in to introduce new bloodlines, and then the bulls will live cover for a certain amount of time, and then they pull the bull off, and the bull will go do his thing other places.
Will they take the ones that buck to other locations, or will they only buck here?
No, they'll take them to other locations. Sean travels to North Carolina. They've actually taken bulls to New York City, Vegas. So they get to travel quite a bit. They're all different. They're like a mixed dog.
Oh, okay.
So they have, some of them have more Brahma, some of them have less Brahma. It just depends on what their bloodlines are.
Is the Brahma the typical bucking?
Yeah, most of them are a Brahma mix, and the Brahmas are the ones that produce the big humps in the back. So it comes from those bloodlines. The cowboys have to ride the bulls for 8 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot of time when you say 8 seconds. But when you're sitting on the back of a 2,400-pound animal that's bucking very hard, it's I think an eternity. I personally would never do it.
Your whole life is kind of flashing.
Right?
Let's start with the one in the back. The one with no horns, and that is called a muley, and that is a Gaelic term that goes back to Ireland, actually, and that is typically what they call any kind of cow or bull that has no horns. So they call that a muley. It doesn't mean anything other than the fact that somebody had something against mules, and so if you have a defect. Yep, Love Potion. Now, Love Potion is the one that's facing you. He is unridden. He has never been ridden. He's been bucking now for about 3 years. Has a 100% buck off rate. J.B. Mooney, I think, rode him, or tried to ride him. And J.B. Mooney is the 2-time world champion bull rider from the PBR Tour. He tried to ride him, and he made it about 6 seconds, and then he ate a lot of dirt. So again, Love Potion has never been ridden. Blue Hurricane is the bluish bull. He looks a little brown today. That has something to do with the suntan. But Blue Hurricane has I think about a 72% buck off rating. When they score the Cowboys and the Bulls, the judges have 50 points to give, 25 for the bull and 25 for the rider. There's 2 judges, so all that would add up to 100 points. Now, Blue Hurricane typically is scoring in that 21 to 22 out of 25 from each judge that scores him. Love Potion, they don't get to score him that much because most riders don't make it halfway through it. Sean's working these bulls, just so you know. He is heading for a 2 days of rodeo up in the state up north. As a big Ohio State fan, I'm not allowed to actually use those words, so I won't use them over the microphone, but the state up north, you know what I'm talking about. So what he's doing here really is just to exercise him a little bit. Riding on that trailer for stock for cows, bulls, and horses actually is kind of a tough job because they have to maintain their balance while they're doing that ride. So get them stretched out a little bit. They'll leave first thing in the morning for those events up north. So this is one part of the herd. I think Sean's taken 8 or 9 bulls. These are the elder of the group, if you will, the bigger bulls. These guys exist for really 3 main purposes. to fight, to eat, and then there's one other thing. Yeah. They are perfect breeding stock, and in fact, a lot of the animals that you see here have been bred in programs here at Creek Bend Ranch, and with a partnership that Sean has with a pretty famous cowboy that's out in Texas and actually in Oklahoma. And so they do some work out there with them. So again, Sean's working them around. The dogs that you see, all of them, they all look different, but they all have blue heeler stock in them. The one on the left is a blue heeler and pit bull cross. The other one is a blue heeler, three-legged blue heeler. And I'll tell you what, they will put those bulls where they need to be. All right, so I think he's going to bring out the next group. And again, he's just going to exercise them. Want to be able to see them up close and personal. Now, the bulls, I said, they used to say, the rodeo announcers and bull riding announcers usually always talk about a 2,000-pound animal. But as they have bred them to be more athletic and to buck, each one of the animals tends to get more muscular, tends to get more athletic, and so that has tended to bring some weight off of them. And as you can see, as they come out, now here comes some of the younger stock, the bulls that are coming in here. Now, again, all these bulls will be bucked up north. Typically, you don't really take them on tour, if you will, until they're about 3 years old. You start testing them in those bucking chutes. Again, that bucking chute is a dangerous place to be for the cowboy and for the bull. All right, Sean told me that these are 3-year-olds, and this is going to be their first big road trip. So this kind of determines the viability of the bull. You know, I can tell you if you went on that tour, or if you look around the ranch here, the 100-acre wood that is Creek Bend Ranch, imagine if you have animals at home, but imagine your feed bill being pretty close to $250,000. Imagine that your vet bill gets bigger with each one of these. They do a lot of the work they can on themselves, but you know, cattle also have to have their feet trimmed. That is a whole nother thing, trying to trim the hooves on one of these bucking bulls. They are not handled beyond what you see here for exercise. They are not, they don't get kisses, they don't get pets. Again, they only exist for 3 reasons, and that's in their mind, not in this mind. These animals are worth quite a bit of money here. And so if you listen to the wrong people that talk about the rodeo business, and unfortunately I've had to be police escorted into a rodeo before because of some of the people that don't know what's going on. You know, they talk about possibly putting things on them that hurt them, or even, dare I say, tying up their testicles or something like that. All that goes on this bucking bull is the rope that the cowboy holds on to, and then something called a flank strap or a flank rope that goes on the back end. That rope is made of nothing but cotton, and so it doesn't do anything to the bull except that the bulls know it's there. It's like a fly that lands on you. You know the fly's there and you're going to do something about it. So when that flank strap goes on the back of the bull, they're going to try to kick it off. It encourages them to use their hind end as much as possible. If you look at the build of these animals, a lot of the weight is in the front. And so if you didn't do something to encourage the use of that back end, they really would do more damage to themselves or do more bad things, I guess, by the front end, and that might include laying down with the cowboy on their back. So none of that happens, and to that point, I guess I'd have to ask the gentleman in the audience, you know, one of the other things to say is they tie up your testicles or whatever. Gentlemen, how high could you jump if the person sitting next to you actually did that to you? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed your tour around Buckin, Ohio. It's a working ranch here in Burbank, Ohio, in Medina County. Certainly one of the few professional bull riding spots in Northeast Ohio. If you haven't had the chance to come out and see a bull riding event here, they do it the 3rd weekend of each month, and there's still one coming up in August and September. We certainly appreciate the generosity of the Torcell family and allowing the Medina Chamber to come out and tour, and also for letting all of you at home coming out to tour. So again, appreciate you tuning in. I'm Medina County Auditor Mike Kovack, and you have been watching Community Connections. Have a great day.